Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Pam Peebles, and welcome to another Millionaire Mastermind training session. I got tongue-tied there for a second. Thank you guys so much for joining. Tonight we have another fantastic session where we're going to share some information with you, where we provide you with coaching, training, mentoring from some of the top leaders in skinny body care. These are weekly sessions that we do where they give you tips and information on how you can build your business. These are the top leaders in the health and wellness industry. And tonight we have part two from one of the top leaders. He's a diamond in skinny body care. His name is James R. Davis Sr. Now, we had a part one, and we kind of got cut off due to some technical difficulties. He's having some bad reception, which is why we're starting a little late. So hopefully we can get through this entire interview tonight without any problem. So we're going to go for it. If we get lost in the sauce, then it'll be a part three. How about that? So we're going to jump on and get started. And for those of you guys who are watching for the first time, get back to the person who put you on this training. We do trainings like this every single week. In trainings, we have trainings, I think, pretty much every single day where we're either sharing some information on how you can get healthier, information that you can give out to people who you're working with, or information you can use to educate yourself. So get back in touch with the person who put you on this training today and tell them that you want more information on how you can get started with our company and our team, or you can click on the link below to get started tonight. So let me start off by introducing James R. Davis Sr. Hello, sir. So glad we finally got you here.
Yes, ma'am. It's just truly an honor to be back on. Am I coming through okay?
You're coming through fine now.
Great. I'm just honored to really be here for the second time, and just looking forward to sharing what I can to assist the team.
Well, we're going to kind of start off from scratch because probably it's been a couple weeks since we had you on here. So we're just going to start from scratch because I love your story and I could hear it a million times. So for people who have not heard your story, let's just kind of start from the beginning. Tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, I'm a single father. I have two children. I have a son, James Jr. He's 4. He'll be 5 in October. In fact, a couple of weeks, October 2nd, he'll be 5. And my daughter, she's 8. And my mother, she lives in Memphis, Tennessee. I was born and raised in Memphis. And my grandmother lives in Memphis now. She was kind of migrated out to Arkansas. But that's pretty much my family, blood family, my kids, my grandmother. But I've been in the network marketing industry now for 12 years, and I can say that this has been my family. The industry of network marketing, because what has happened is I've been very fortunate to create a lot of friendships, meet strangers who eventually become friends, who eventually become your family. And so that's pretty much my family. 12 years of being in this industry, I've accumulated a lot of different friends who become ultimately my family, because my biological family, my blood family, everybody's pretty much scattered out. I think our last family reunion was back in 1983. So it's been a long time since this family, my mother's side of the family, my dad's side, which I really don't know. It's been a long time since they've gotten together and really did some family things together. So that's pretty much my family.
Yeah, and that was going to be the next question that I asked you, was how long have you been in the industry? But you've kind of already said that you've been in the industry for 12 years. But yeah. What I love about your story the most, James, is you have the most fascinating story of pretty much anyone that I've met. And oftentimes people, especially anyone who's watching this, who's maybe they've been in the industry for a while, or maybe they're just getting started and they're wondering, how could they become a six-figure earner like yourself? They're saying, okay, well, he's been in for 12 years. Of course he can do it. But, there's some background information that they don't know. And that's the part that I want people to hear, because people, I'm not one for giving a whole bunch of excuses. I'm not one for, money or any of that other stuff. And I've overcome some obstacles myself, constantly dealing with things going on in my life. And so I don't take excuses from people lightly. But I think for you got, one of the great stories of don't give me your BS ever. So I want you to tell me, what did you do prior to getting into this industry?
Wow. My story is, I was growing up in Memphis, I watched my mom be a single parent, make some decisions to get involved with a guy who ended up impacting her life drastically. And she ended up on drugs and so forth. And I was being the only child. I had to make some decisions, and I bounced around a lot as a kid to my aunt's house, my grandmother's house, different people. Eventually made some decisions, some bad decisions. Basketball was my outlet. That's my first love. I love basketball. I played basketball. I was a high school standout in high school. I was very highly recruited in the 10th grade. I got all the way to the 12th grade and got incarcerated. So made some very, very, very bad decisions. I had a bunch of different robbery charges. I developed a real hatred for drug dealers, pretty much. And it just really impacted my life. And I ended up spending about 10 years in prison, 10 years and 8 months in prison. And in there, I just knew from day one that it wasn't for me. That was not going to be my life. It was not going to be for me. I didn't want to continue to be there for the rest of my life. So I made some decisions being in that valley that most people didn't make. A lot of people conform to the system. They were through dominoes, they were through basketballs, they were through weights, and to entertain them. Me, I got in the law library. I started educating myself. I got my GED. I got pretty much every different certification you could think of, anywhere from brick masonry to book binding. I know how to sew clothes. I can make everything you got on. Computerized information processing. A lot of different things that I took advantage of because it was free. I wasn't going to sit in there and waste my time. And fortunately for me, I was smart enough to take advantage of that because I knew that I was going to get out one day. And I eventually did. It prepared me for the free world out here. And got out. It was very difficult for me to get a job in the beginning, of course, because of my background. People wanted to judge me based upon things that I did, years ago. Of course, so a lot of guys deal with that. A lot of people deal with that. When you make a bad decision, you come back out into society, and society, really judges you based upon some decisions that you made years ago. And I don't blame them. You should have to prove to society that you need to stay out. The recidivism rate is about 85%. So a lot of people go through that revolving cycle. So for me, I needed to just prove myself, to myself. And I got hired eventually as a loan officer, and that was an opportunity for me. Pam, nobody wanted to give me a job, and at that time, to me, I looked at that as a tremendous opportunity. So I worked my tail off. I did everything that they told me to do. I impacted their numbers, and I got promoted to office manager. So I went from making $10 an hour to about almost $60,000 a year, in a matter of a year and a half, getting out of prison. So people considered me being lucky, but I look at it like this, luck. I don't believe in luck. I believe that luck is when preparation meets opportunity. All those years I was preparing for the opportunity, and when I saw it, I took advantage of it. So from there, I had what some people would consider a good job, making good money. But I didn't like the time freedom that I was lacking. I was working 70 hours a week, 80 hours a week, 90 hours a week sometimes, 100 hours plus per week. And I remember reading a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, when I was by Robert Kiyosaki. And that changed my life. It really opened my mindset. Les Brown says, once your mind is expanded, it can never go back. That book expanded my mind, so it kind of laid the foundation for this industry. I didn't know what it was going to be that I was going to do to create freedom for myself, but I knew the concept of leverage. I knew the concept of residual income, passive income, because I was exposed to it reading that book. And fortunately for me, a gentleman walked in my office. No, I was out and about before I got this job, looking for a job. In fact, I was working for a guy. We were selling things on the street like calculator sets, knife sets, different things like that. I would approach you in a shirt, tie, hard bottom shoes in July in Memphis, and I would give you a sales pitch, and we would talk to get as many no's as we could. I remember being partnered with a gentleman by the name of Andre Davis. And everybody else was averaging about $50 a day. Andre was averaging about $200 a day, and I saw why, because he was very consistent, very adamant, very he was in your face and he was out of your face. He was getting the no's. And so I remember doing what I was taught. Approached the gentleman. I never forget this gentleman. His name was Michael McKenzie. And he drove up. I never forget, he had a three-piece suit, Jaguar. This guy didn't know me from Adam. I had been out maybe 6 months. And I approached him, and he refused what I was offering. And I immediately turned, made an about face and was going about my business. And he ended up stopping me. He said, "Hey, listen, can I be brutally honest with you, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "You're in the wrong business." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Right? We was laughing about it. And he said, "Well, listen, I want to introduce you to somebody." And that was my first invitation to network marketing. He didn't try to sell me anything. He didn't convince me of anything. He said, "Listen, I want to introduce you to somebody." He introduced me to a gentleman by the name of Trini Williams, which that company was Amway, which a lot of people are very familiar with that company. I was very, very fortunate to be connected to people that were doing things differently. Got the opportunity to work with Bill Britt. A lot of people are familiar with Bill Britt, and that was an incredible experience, being around that kind of environment. So from there, I was hooked. I was just hooked, Pam. I mean, I have not been able to sleep since. Being exposed to this industry, my mind just being expanded and seeing, the lifestyles of people, the possibilities in this industry. So that's how I got in this industry. Stumbled across it. I was ready for it, and took advantage of it. Didn't really have a lot of success in the beginning. In fact, I stayed with that company for a year. I made about $43 and some change, but I was hooked. I was hooked in an environment. I didn't make any money that year. I wasn't really hurting financially, but I was more intrigued with the environment, intrigued with the people. And from there, I went to a dental company, made about $3,000 for that year, stayed with that company for about a year. And then from there, I went to a legal service company, which allowed me to work with that company for about 6 years. About 18 months into the company, I was able to walk away from corporate America. That was March 22nd, 2005, was when I retired from corporate America. And I haven't looked back since. This industry has been a blessing to myself. And when I found Skinny Body Care found me, I was in a telecommunications company. I was vice president in a telecommunications company. So I've been around the block. I've been in the industry for a while. I've seen a lot of different things, a lot of different services, a lot of different products, a lot of different compensation plans, leadership styles, and so forth. So my experience in the industry prepared me for Skinny Body Care. And I truly feel that Skinny Body Care was what I prayed for back then. But as I was sharing on the call last night, I had to grow through my process, of going through those 12 years. A lot of people think that this is a get rich quick industry, and it's not. Wealth is not generated overnight. It takes time to build wealth. And it takes time for your process to work itself through. And unfortunately, people don't want to respect that process. And like when I was incarcerated, I didn't want to be incarcerated, right? Who wants to be incarcerated? And I can't see doing 10 years. I'm 41 years old now. I can't see doing 10 years. I just can't see it. Nobody wants to be in that environment, but it's necessary sometimes to prepare you. And a lot of times it's happening to you, but it's not for you. So that's how I look at it. That entire experience was for me, but it wasn't for me. It was for you guys to be able to see a guy like myself, see what God can do when you submit yourself. When you have a dream, when you have a passion for something, and you remain obedient, and you just work, you just go for it. And the sky's the limit. And this industry, network marketing, is a tool that a lot of people are utilizing to accomplish the dreams that they always wanted to accomplish. Growing up, everybody had a dream when they were little, But unfortunately, when you turn 18 years old, 19, 20 years old, you transition into the real world. You know, we find ourselves going with the motions and look up, we're 30, we haven't accomplished what we wanted, 35, 40, 50 years old. So this industry has been a blessing, and I just really encourage anybody that's looking at this hangout tonight, that's considering network marketing, or the distributors that's in this company. You gotta just understand, man. You gotta respect the process and know that if you see it, you see it. If you have a vision for it, and if you see yourself uh, wherever you want to be in this company in your life, this is the vehicle that can give it for you. That can give it to you. And that's something that you have to assess within yourself and make a decision and just plug in and go to work. So I'll ramble all night, so I'll turn it over back to you, Ben. But that's how I got involved in this industry. That's pretty much, I haven't really told you how I got involved in this company, but that's how I got involved in the industry.
Well, I want you to share something, James, because I remember the last time that we spoke, you mentioned something about, I think, your first check being like $1 and some change or something to that effect. And I think I kind of made a comment that, oh, I know most of y'all would be gone. Y'all would quit because people these days, you just said it right. They want this instant success. So after 30 days, if they haven't at least gotten their money back that they've invested, and they consider, and let me go out on a limb here and tell y'all this ain't, to get started, you can get started for less than $100. My first company that I started up, let me tell you, it was not $100. So when I say investment, I say that almost, I don't mean to belittle anyone, but I say that as a joke. $100 to start a business is really not an investment. If you were starting an offline business, you would be putting $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 minimum in it just to get licensed. Not just about rents. I mean, rent rate to maybe rent a place, physical location might be anywhere $2,000 to $5,000. Not more on what type of business you have. And then you're talking about return on investment. Just to put it out there, just to even start a corporation, it costs $200, $300, $500 just to file a corporate paper. Go start a business with $500 into a business banking account. So I say all that because people come to me and say, well, I haven't made my investment back. Because as a matter of fact, it's $65. And so you can't even go start a corporation for $65. I just want to say that because this man's paycheck was like $1 and something. He got a check for working for $1 and something. Let me tell you, more than half of y'all would have been. I would have stuck around because he stayed for a year after $1 and some change. And the reality is, most of y'all wouldn't have stayed. So, James, I want to talk to you about a leader. You saw something. I get a lot of feedback from your background. I don't know what you did. Really.
You still getting it?
Like it might be a TV or something.
Still getting that feedback?
Yes.
What about now? I just bought these headphones today because my other ones broke, so I can prepare for this tonight.
It's okay. It sounds like it could be a TV or a computer or something. Hey, there you go. It left. It's gone. Okay. So James, let me ask you. I mean, what at that time made you understand that even though it was only $1 or something, that you said, you know what, I can see a bigger vision and I'm gonna stick around?
Am I still coming through okay?
Yep, you're good.
It was actually $43 and about 17 cents for the year, for the whole year. Again, you know, it was just, you know, it's like this. I tell people that, you know, you are in life because of what you have allowed to go into your mind, right? You know, if we can't be where we don't see ourselves, we haven't been exposed to it. You grew up in the hood and that's all that you saw. You don't know that anything else is possible. So when I got in that environment, Pam, um, it was difficult for me to deny what I experienced. That's why we tell people, go to the event, get to the events. We can't explain it. Um, we can't give you the experience. Just like we were in Vegas a few weeks ago. We can't. Nobody can take that experience from you, right? So for me, it wasn't about the money. At that time, I know for a lot of people, when they get involved in network marketing, they get involved because of the money. They need money, and unfortunately, when they don't make that money right away, they get frustrated. They quit. They move on to something else, and so forth. And that individual right there just has to understand that there is a process associated with the things that you say you want. You have to be committed. So for me, it wasn't about the money. Fortunately for me, I didn't really need the money at that time. Like I said, I fell in love with the environment. That environment blew me away. I couldn't believe that people were making 20,000 in a month, 50,000 in a month, 100,000 in a month. And for me, early on, I got a chance to, talk to Bill Britt. And one of his quotes, I can't remember exactly what it was word for word, but he talked about the fact that he talked to X amount of people, and X amount of people made a decision to get started, and X amount of people led him to make millions of dollars. So again, if you are around someone who's done that, and they've helped create other leaders that have done that, I couldn't be in that environment and then go back to my environment and say, I didn't see what I just saw. If that makes any kind of sense. I can't deny it. I can't say, well, that didn't happen. I'm like I didn't see that, right? It couldn't happen. I wasn't at that place. I was open to an opportunity. So for me, being in that environment, I was like, you got to be careful. $1, if it's $43, it don't matter, because it does not matter. That's not where it'll stay. Because if I implement what I'm being taught, then eventually I'll be making 50,000 a month, 20,000 a month, 5,000 a month, 500 a week. You see what I'm saying? So and I understood that. I truly understood that. It was, it was going to take time. A lot of people say, well, James, you have an advantage. You got that experience of being locked up. Now you're a little bit more tough. And I'm like you, Pam. I'm like, look, man, God created us, right? God created us. So everybody has a level of toughness in them. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has a talent, but a lot of people want to make excuses. And I'm a grown man. I'm just not going to accept no excuses. I could have very easily made an excuse, and conform to the system and been in and out of prison. You see what I'm saying? I could have very easily. That's easy to do. It's easy to make an excuse. I don't want to do that. It was just, for me, it was the belief. So if I could sum it up to one word, it was the belief. Why did I stay? The belief of what I had experienced. I believed it. I believed that those people in that room, 10, 15, 20 people in that room, they were sharing their stories. They had different backgrounds. They were engineers, doctors, attorneys, different kinds of backgrounds, building a business part-time, earning 40,000 a year on a job, earning 100,000 a year on their job, but making an extra, 20,000 a year, an extra 80,000 a year, an extra $1 million a year. So it's like, and they're sharing their story. They're sharing where they were once broke. They didn't make money, right? So I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. So it came down to belief, my belief level in myself, in my company, in the marketing at the time, which I didn't make any money marketing it. They had a whole slew of products. I just couldn't recruit nobody for nothing. But I would talk to a lot of people. I would expose. I would go out. I would get the nose. I would get the busted lips and the sucker punches and the stood up meetings. And I was just telling Tim the other day. It's crazy, man. I remember, exposing people, exchanging information with people, following up with people, and having the person tell me, "Hey, I'll meet you at the Starbucks at 1 o'clock," and they don't show up. Over and over and over and over over again. You're spending money on gas money, in regards to what you're talking about. People, they don't understand that, when you start a traditional business, man, you have an expense. When I was running my electronic recycling business, it was 5 figures a month expenses. You see what I'm saying? And people talking about $75. Are you serious? $10, 55, 59.99 a month to run your business, your international company, which is licensed and registered. You ain't got to go out and do all that. You ain't got to go out and create distribution centers. Are you serious? All this stuff is already in place. So it's just a matter of belief. And I think that people, when they lack belief, their attitude is gonna reflect that. Their actions is gonna reflect that if they don't believe. So for me, it was the belief level, and you got to believe in what you're doing to have success in this industry.
Yeah, I would agree with you, and I also want to add. You just pointed out something about people may look at you and say, well, you spent 10 years in prison, so therefore, of course you can do this. I actually beg to differ. I would think the majority of people see that as a disadvantage or I would look at that and say that unlike other people, you came out with a disadvantage. You had 10 years of your life taken from you, and you came out with a situation that most of us didn't have to deal with. So I disagree when people tell me that they can't do certain things. I just don't fall for the okie doke. I'll just put it out there simply because people will make up every excuse in their mind as to why they can't do something. Now, does it mean it's going to take you a little longer? Absolutely. Like you, I didn't get started in this business quickly. I didn't start making money right away, and it does take some time sometimes to figure it out. But most people won't stick around long enough. Like I just said, if they don't get their investment back in 30 days, sometimes they'll stick around for 60 days. But if they don't get their investment back in 30 to 60 days, and God forbid they stick around for 90, then you owe them the world. Then they really don't understand the concept of stick and stay. They don't understand the concept of if you really want to make this work, just like a traditional business, you would have to stay for 3 to 5 years. And I explained this to someone just the other day, and I want to get your opinion on it. And when I started my first company, I had a real estate and mortgage company. And one of the things that I had to do is I had to get licensing. We had to get an office. We had to get desks. We had to get computers. We had to do all this stuff before we even brought in staff. And once we did all of this stuff, we had to have payroll. Now, whether we did any transactions or not, we still had to pay. We had certain staff that was on salary, so we still had to pay. We still had to pay the rent on the building, which was $3,500 a month. So we had all of these outgoing expenses, which our monthly expenses were over $30,000 a month, whether we made a dime or not. Now, here's the funny part about that. I told people that we were in a 3-year lease. So whether I made money or not, I was obligated to this company for 3 years. I had to put up 6 months in advance, whether I made a dime or not. So all of that I had to come up with up front. And I was explaining this to one of my distributors because she was saying, well, people keep telling me they're going to sign up, but they're not. So I don't know if I'm going to pay my auto ship for next month. I said, so because people are telling you they're not going to do something, you're going to give up on your dream after 30 days because someone else told you they may or may not do anything. And I explained to her about how we had to come up with all this money. We had to hustle and do all of these things because we were obligated because we wanted to fulfill our dreams. And you're willing to quit over $70. And I know that you also did a traditional offline business. I'm just interested on how you handle people who give you similar excuses. And I think it's a good discussion to have because for people who are in this business, if you're thinking about quitting, you've been wondering whether or not you should pursue it, I'm letting you know if you want to get to the point where James is at, if you want to get to the point where you're making 5 figures a month like we are, you have to stick and stay. It doesn't come overnight. I can tell you I put several years into it where my fiance, who's now my husband, I used to say, I'm going to be a 7-figure earner in this business. And he would go, okay, babe. And I know he walked away going, well, I know she need to hurry it up because it was a point where it became a running joke because it was so much work going into it, but nothing was happening. And then all of a sudden, things clicked. All of a sudden, the money started coming in. But it really wasn't all of a sudden. It was after years of doing the work behind the scenes and never being paid for. So James, was that similar for you? Was it like you were doing all this work, and then all of a sudden it was like people were showing up, people came to the Starbucks, people met you, they didn't stand you up anymore?
You know, to answer your question, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't deal with people. Uh, I just don't. I mean, I've learned, Pam, that you can't push a rope. You can't push a rope. I mean, you can lead, like my grandmother used to say, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. You know, this is a voluntary army, this industry. We make daily voluntary decisions. It's a voluntary act. I can inspire people, you know, by doing first, but you can't make people do things. People call me tough, harsh, call it whatever you want. Um, I just know that God created us to be great, incredible, magnificent beings, and I'm not going to sit there and listen to your excuses of why you don't want to become great. You know, and I just understand that people have their own process. I can't make people. I mean, I can't make people do um, what they said that they wanted to do in the beginning. You know, people tend to lose their focus because, you know, I'm like you, because your friend doesn't join you. Are you serious? You're gonna quit your dream because your friend does not join or your mom doesn't join. Um, for me, that was difficult in the beginning. That's why I talk about personal development all the time because I used to react to a lot of people. You know, I was with a company that was publicly traded, had an A rating with the Better Business Bureau, 40 years old, and they were talking about, is that one of them pyramid schemes? I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You know, won't even get the information. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I had to continue to work on myself, continue to practice, 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 practice. Expose, 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 expose. Why would I walk away from my business based upon what one person's opinion of it is? There are a billion people in this world. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I just don't deal with people that are going to make more excuses than they're going to make solutions. You know, it takes the same energy to complain than it does to do something about it. It takes the same energy to create an excuse as it does to figure out a solution. So we're all grown people. We're not kids. We're grown people. And one thing, Pam, that I understand about grown people is that we do what we want to do. Period. You know, we make time for what we want to make time for. You know, if the R. Kelly concert comes to town, we gonna find the $500 to go see R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? It's about priorities. So that's why I don't make people. I don't try to push a rope. I don't try to wrestle with people, man, when it comes to their freedom and their health. That's one decision I made when I got involved with Skinny Body Care. Because in previous businesses, I would pay people's money for it. You know, I would give people the money to get started in their business. They would still quit. You know, I would place people under people and they would still quit. So I made a decision that when I got in Skinny Body Care, look, if you can't find 3 people that want to hit the top level of this company, they want to lose weight, make some extra money, you're just not ready yet. You know, you're not ready yet. I'm not going to sit here and talk about you and beat you all up. You're just not ready yet. You're not ready to commit to the things that you say you want to do. Now, second part to what you was talking about. As I continue to be consistent with enthusiasm, you know, it just turned around for me. You know, people start to notice. They start to see, well, this guy's just not going to quit. You know, and when you don't quit, What tends to happen to with your friends and your family member is because when you make a decision to do something different, the spotlight not only shines on you, but it shines on them, and they didn't ask for the spotlight to shine on them. So it's like it makes them uncomfortable. And I tell people a lot of times you have to embrace that your mom is saying is that a pyramid scheme or your uncle or whatever the case may be. You have to respect that. People love you the most, they respect you the least. I said that in Las Vegas, and that is so true. That is so true. But you can't quit or give up on your dreams because people, and another thing is personal development. Because see, with personal development, I will read books and read different great people and all the different trials and tribulations that they encountered, how people criticized them and ridiculed them and quit on them and did this and did that, but they were yet successful. So that's a blueprint. Personal development books, watching audios. That's a blueprint to to success. So for me, in keeping going, and those same people, you know, some of them join, some of them don't. But you will start to attract the people as you become more. And so now in my career in network marketing, I have people chasing me down, and it's crazy because I've worked on myself harder than I've worked on my job, harder than I've worked on my business, harder than I've worked on anything. Because I had to change me, who I was. I had to become the person that I wanted to attract. I wanted to attract professional people, sharp people, business-minded people. I had to become sharp. I had to become business-minded. I had to, grow and develop myself and become the attractive person who I want to work with, who I want to grow with, and create wealth with. And fortunately for me, I've been able to surround myself with people sharper than me. People that have stretched me, people that grow me, people that challenge me. I had to get out of the environment of people who were saying, "Hey, you're going to another meeting. You're going to another big event. How much money have you made yet?" Stuff like that. So, it all changed. The meetings, people would show up at the different sit-down appointments. Eventually, it's just a law of averages. It's just a matter of running through the numbers. I know that if I expose 50 people and I exchange information with 50 people, and the only way you're going to know this is if you do this. Okay, everybody's laws of averages are different. Everybody's ratio is different. If I expose and exchange information with 50 people and follow up with them, I already know. I'm going to probably touch base with 25 of them. The other 25 are going to avoid my phone calls, not return my phone calls. I'll probably actually get a chance to sit down with maybe 5 of them, and I may end up getting 3 customers out of it. You see what I'm saying? I understand the numbers as they break down because I learned early on in sales, you got to get as many no's as you can. But in this company, does anybody care? We're talking about weight loss. Okay? So ratios will be different because 80% of Americans are trying to manage their weight. You know, more, probably more, are looking for ways to make extra money. So it's just a matter of you putting in the work, having the discipline in yourself, and eventually you'll start to attract those people. But unfortunately, like you said, a lot of people are in very unfortunate financial situations, and because of that, they want it right now. They want to make $5,000 a month tomorrow. They'll put their business on notice that, hey, if you don't make me 10,000 a month in 90 days, I quit. But you'll never make 10,000 a month in corporate America. You've been on your job 25 years. I mean, think about that. Really think about that. It's really common sense. I mean, it's like just simple logic. People blow me away that do that. They'll commit to a job for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, making $10 an hour, $15 an hour. Never have the promise of 6 figures. Never have the promise of freedom. But they'll commit to that. Rain, sleet, snow, don't matter. They're going to show up. But a business like this, if it's not making them 10,000 a month in 90 days, they quit. So that's just an educational process that people have to embrace eventually. Some people gonna act like they don't see it and ignore it. But for the most part, we as a whole, as network marketers, as professional network marketers, we have to clean that up. We have to stay committed ourselves because the industry has become a place where people hop here, hop there, hop here, hop there, and unfortunately, the people that don't succeed doing that, they'll say, well, network marketing doesn't work. Well, that's not true. It works. You just have to learn how to work it. It takes a skill set. It takes a burning desire. It takes coachability, and it takes you just being willing to associate and work on yourself.
Yeah. One of the things that I often say is that 90% of your success comes from your personal development, the 10% comes from action. I've had people disagree with that. They'll say, oh, well, you got to take more action than that. And I say, believe me, it's when I started doing the most work on myself. And I just heard you say that. That's why I mentioned that. It's when I started doing the most work on myself that I started seeing the most results. It seemed like all the skill set I know, because I taught myself how to do everything online. I know how to build websites. I know how to do optimization, SEO, social media, you name it. I learned how to do every little trick of the trade, which is kind of handy. But none of it clicked. I wasn't attracting the right type of people. I wasn't making the type of money I needed to make. Nothing was working for me until I really started working on me. When I started doing some self-development and really focusing on my own why and my inner, doing the inner work and trying to figure out, what is it about me that's deflecting people? Because let me just throw this out there, side note, if there's something.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second. Let me go charge this thing up. It's going to get ready to cut off on you. So go ahead, keep
While
talking.
you're charging, I'm going to talk. Why, if there's something about, if people are not joining your business the way that you want them to, then I always say there's some inner work that needs to be done. So I always tell people, figure out what it may be that you are doing or are not doing, not in an evil way, but there's always room for personal development. There's a book that I always start people off with, and it's called Start With Why. Start With Why. It's a great book, and I just honestly think that everyone should read that book. The reason why I think it's such a great book is because it's by Simon Sinek, by the way. The reason why I think everyone should read that book is because what he does in this book is he talks about communication and how some of the greatest leaders in the world all started out with what their why was, what their motivation was, and then how they influence other people. And I think what ends up happening is when people get into this business, their why is money. And not to mean that you can't be money motivated or that you don't want to make money, but what ends up happening is after a while, money just kind of wears off. Money is something that's tangible, but it provides options and opportunities, and that's about it. But when you don't have anything deeper that you can provide to people, when you don't have something that you can provide to people as far as a solution is concerned, it starts turning people off. So when you can dig deeper into yourself and you can figure out what your real why is, because when I do coaching calls with people, we talk about their why, and they'll say, oh, because I want a big house. I go, what are you going to do with a big house? And then we start breaking things down, and we keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. And reality is they really don't want that stuff. What most people want is they want time with their family. They want the freedom to be able to hang out with their kids while they're growing up. They want the freedom to be able to travel, and money supports all of those things. So you really need to spend some time on what your why is, what it is that you're passionate about, and how it is that you can serve other people. When you find out those things, that's when your business will actually begin to grow. That's when you will find a way to build your business almost effortlessly, and that's when you'll start making more money so that you can have the life that you want. So it looks like we've lost James for a second. Let's see if we can get him back on so we can wrap this up. In the meanwhile, do you guys have any questions that you want to ask of James? Let me go over here and ask. Okay, if you guys have any questions that you want to ask James when he comes back on, hopefully we can get him back on. But that's like a real important factor for you guys. We'll just keep talking about that a little bit until he comes back on. But that's like a real important factor for you guys as far as building your business. I can tell you that for the 2 years, about probably 4 or 5 years that I was trying to build my business online, there was about a 2 or 3 year period of time where I just struggled. I mean, I was making some money, but not any real money, not anything that I would consider writing home about. And then all of a sudden, when I started focusing more on me, my inner self, and every single day I put in at least an hour, sometimes even 2 hours on reading personal development. And then one of the things that I've started doing a lot more lately is lightening up. How to get to ground up faster than Tim Miller. I don't know if James can answer that. You might have to ask Tim Miller that. But one of the things I started doing is lightening up, being someone that people want to be around. One of the things that I've realized is that, life is very, very short. And one thing that you don't want to do is be the person that's always business, someone who's, always just focused on the money. So I've learned to kind of lay back a little bit and enjoy the ride a whole lot more. So let's see if we're going to be able to get James back on real quick. I think he's having a problem with his signal. There we go.
I'm back on.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. So I was just rambling and running my mouth, trying to take up free time while you were getting back together. So let me go ahead and ask just a couple last questions before we lose you again. Who introduced you to Skinny Body Care?
A young lady. I don't really want to say her name, but she's no longer in the company anymore.
Okay.
Her name is Elle Powell.
Okay.
She inboxed me on Facebook, sent me the link, and that was it. Followed up with me later on that day because I didn't join right away, and asked me to watch Tim Miller's video, the Show Me the Money video, and that was it. That's my sponsor. I haven't really had any contact with that individual since. So, I often run across people that say, well, I'm not getting any help from my sponsor. Well, take ownership of your business. That's what I did. I took ownership. I had a back office. I could look around. I could go upline past that individual. But for me, I just plugged into the system and got on the calls and did what they were doing. I'm a good copycat. They told me a long time ago that it's okay to copy as long as you copy the right cat. In school you get in trouble for copying. In network marketing, you create wealth copying the right people. So for me, I followed what everybody else was doing, and eventually got sought out by Tim Miller because of the numbers that we put on. When we start running. He looked up and said, well, what's going on? He called me one day and said, hey, what's going on up there in Memphis, man? What you guys doing? And we've been buddies ever since. So that's my sponsor. I haven't heard back from that individual since, but I took ownership of my business. So if I could give any advice to some people that make that excuse, just take ownership of your own business and go to work.
I would agree 100% with you there. It is a business. Keyword business. So agree with you 100%. What would you say makes Skinny Body Care different from anything else that you've done or even anything else that you've seen? What makes it different?
Wow. Being that I've been around the industry for 12 years, I've been a part of some incredible leadership. Some of the best trainers in the industry. I feel that I'm very fortunate to have worked with the caliber of people that I've been able to work with. I can name a few names, and you guys will be like, "Oh wow!" People like Jeff Olson, the author of The Slight Edge, that book. Uh, People like Darnell Self, who was named Entrepreneur of the Year by the National Black Chamber of Commerce, who's been in Ebony Magazine, Essence Magazine, Bill Britt. You know, I've been around some incredible leaders that have taught me a lot about the industry. And so, because I've helped people succeed in this industry, and I saw how the way compensation plans would compensate me for helping people pass me up in rank, um, uh, chargebacks for advanced conditions, certain compensation structures. I had to learn the you know, services. I had to learn products. Um, and it wasn't until really when I looked at the top income earners in the world, I looked at that list and I had an epiphany because I had been in service-driven companies for all my networking career. But if you look at the top income earners in the world, they're in skincare and health and wellness. And I was like, wow, um, that's where the money is. It's in skincare and health and wellness in this industry, product-based companies. So I've been a student to the industry. Um, I get a lot of the reports, the scam reports, and I consider myself a very well-rounded network marketer, professional network marketer, because I really study this industry. I study the comp plans. I know about uni-level comp plans, one-ups, two-ups, matrices, binaries. I've seen them all. Um, I've also seen the division of this industry that it can create, with teams. And I've seen car bonuses. There are a lot of different things that I've seen in the industry. So what makes anybody care so different? Pioneer seeked the fact that when I was in Legal Shield, I had the opportunity to attend twice the Legends panel, an event where they had a Legends panel, people that had got started when it first began, and how they would market their membership, and they didn't want people to use it because they knew it didn't work. So when the company, was going through the tough times, so I got a chance to hear that, hear those stories, and say, okay, wow, that's what it's like to be a part of an iconic company, a legendary company, a company in the beginning. Um, so when I looked at Skinny Body Care, I looked at the fact that, the product, Skinny Fiber, it had a proprietary formula. It couldn't be copied. They were exclusive. It worked. Less than 1% return rate on the product. As I talked about on our call this morning, this afternoon, if you look at the industry as a whole, Pam, um, to be honest, I joined because of the company. But when you look at the product, it's just amazing. When you look across the board, there are not a lot of companies out here where people are making a lot of cash money retailing products. Uh, you know, that was key, so key. The fact that everybody makes a check and Skinny Body Care joins. A lot of people don't make money in this industry, but everybody gets a check that joins this company. The fast start bonuses, uh, amazing. When you understand those coded bonuses, man, that's insane. The back end money, the matrix money, for being committed. Something happened called compression in this company. It rewards people for being committed. I've experienced that about 3 times in my business. I'm a builder. I don't need help. But if the system is designed to compress people up from a 2% check match to a 95% check match, that's powerful. That's insane. Inheriting 500 pre-enrollees. You know what I'm saying? It's due to compression. The infinity check matches, the 5th way we get paid. That's why I joined. I saw that, I was like, how in the world Ben is going to pay out this money? A different infrastructure. He's a different founder. This family. It's a different environment. The bulk orders. That's huge. When you understand that, when you develop a mature organization, 2 or 3 years, you're going to develop people that's going to be retailing a lot of product. Those bonuses are paid out every week. The leadership pool, 3 people. Pam, I was with a company, one last company I was with, man, we had 300 to 500 people on the team. We never saw a bonus pool. You know, most network marketers that are watching this, you gotta understand what we're talking about. You know, you need hundreds and thousands of people to participate in the bonus pool. Over here in Skinny Body Care, Ben Ginsky said 3 people, man. That's crazy. That's unheard of. You know, the rank advancements. You know, a house award. Are you serious? A car award. You know, I love this industry, man. I don't want to de-edify this industry, but I feel that a lot of times the truth is not being told on the front end. You know, car bonuses, for an example. You know, there's a lot of hype about car bonuses. A lot of them go on the street, but a lot of them come off the street. And they don't talk about that. They don't talk about retention in this industry. You know, that's just retaining a customer. Skinny Body Care, man, I can go on and on, but those are a few things that really stood out about the company that has progressed, because Ben has enhanced the compensation plan like 6 times. When I joined, we got paid 6 ways. And I joined because of the 5th way we got paid. Period. Hands down in the story. That was just unheard of to me. I wanted to get in position. I didn't know that the system was so sophisticated where we do compressions and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So the follow-up emails. I mean, I'm used to paying $19.95 a month for a website, or $35 a month for a website. Your only requirement is to buy your bottle. That's it. And one of the second ways we get paid is on retail, right? You can promote your retail site. If someone orders a bottle from your retail site, you don't have to buy your bottle for that month. You can be in business for free as an international business owner. So, my God, there are a lot of reasons. There are a lot of reasons why Skinny Body Care. You know what I'm saying? It's an industry changer. When we say revolutionary company, when we say revolutionary product, when Ben says he wants this to be the last company you ever have to work with, I mean, he means that. Man, I've been to this gentleman's house. I've been on boats with this gentleman, skiing with this gentleman, on a cruise room with this gentleman for a whole week. You know, he and I, we sat there and had conversations and cried like big old babies, 2 grown men. You know what I'm saying? You know, very different culture, different breed, different company, different everything over here with Skinny Body Care. The company is different. I've lost 40 pounds, not even trying to lose weight. You know, I don't have a blood pressure problem anymore for the first time in 20 years. Now let's cut to the chase. Look, you can make all the money on the planet, but if you ain't got your health, what good is it? Right? So I want to live. I got 2 kids to live for. So here is a product that I once laughed at, the idea that I once laughed at, almost missed out on, you know, sitting here, done lost weight, and got healthier, getting a check every week, and helping other people do the same doggone thing. So, I mean, it's about timing, man. It's about positioning. It's about understanding that we are pioneers. You need to be looking at this company 10, 20, 30 years down the road. That's the mindset people need to have in this company. Because it's a weight loss product. Think about it. They come and go. Some of them end up on commercials. You know, attorneys be talking about it. You know, I heard one today, the attorney said if your loved one is taking this drug, if you've lost a loved one, who in the world want to deal with stuff like that? And we got a real product that's natural, that's helping kids. You know, I could go on and on. That's why I said in the beginning, oh my God, did you really want me to go there with you? You know, why Skinny Body Care? There's a lot of different reasons why Skinny Body Care, but really it's about timing. You ain't got to be the smartest person on the planet. It's about timing and business. You got to understand business. Always talk about the need for this product and the what. Pam, there are times now where I post on Facebook because I've been around 3 years. It's not going to happen for you. You just started. You got to brand people, okay? You got to brand your market. You got to understand what you're dealing with. You know, I can post on Facebook. Like about a month ago, I posted on Facebook. I had 82 bottles. In 19 minutes flat, they were all gone. Okay? That's crazy. You do the math on 80 something bottles and you're talking about a $40, $50 profit margin per bottle. That's what we're talking about. A product that people want, people need, a compensation plan that's paying out 80% on the front end, drastically different from anything I've ever seen in my life, different culture, and it's just, it was a matter of me having the experience that I have and being able to, I saw myself being able to just really give all the years of experience back to this company and truly, truly, truly create a legacy. You know, create a billion-dollar company, being one of the first. Finally, you know, finally I get to be first in the industry with the company and actually build it based upon all of the experience that I have. And see people with no experience coming here and rock this thing the way that they're doing and developing and growing. And it's just a beautiful thing, fam. It's a really beautiful thing to be able to build a company like this, be a part of it, and make a lot of money doing the same thing. So it's a blessing, truly a blessing. That's why I would say Skinny White Care versus anything else that's out here. There are a lot of great companies out here. I don't knock this industry. I mean, there are great companies out here, great solid companies, real products, real services, paying real people, real money. And then there are a lot of different ones that people like John Gilardi and Tim Miller and myself, we just hate seeing because it's a black eye for the industry. But Skinny Body Care, man, you know, this is a godsend. You know, this is truly a gift from God, you know, from my health standpoint and from my financial standpoint.
That was going to be my next question to you. How has Skinny Body Care changed your life? So I know, obviously, health-wise it's changed your life, but financially your life.
You know, all I can say is this. My best month in this industry, I've been in the industry 12 years, and my best month has been, before Skinny Body Care, was $17,000 a month. You know, we hit Diamond in March, and man, you know, like I told people, we don't do hype. We don't do hype. I have not made 20 grand in a month as a diamond yet. Okay, but you got to understand something. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. I want to read something to you real quick. That a billionaire spoke about. You're probably familiar with him. His name is Paul J. Meyer. And if you guys aren't familiar with Paul J. Meyer, someone need to type it in the chat. I really encourage you guys to get everything that you can get on Paul J. Meyer. Okay, Paul J. Meyer. I'm gonna read this and understand where we are, guys. But financially, Pam, this company has been a blessing, total blessing. The average diamond makes 20 grand a month in this company. Okay, having a mature diamond organization, some people make less, some people make more. So it's kind of surreal, you know. I'm making more money in this company than I've ever made in any network marketing company combined. You know, I look at the growth in my business every day because I write the numbers down. You know, I look at how many customers are joining my business per day. I've never experienced this kind of growth. And just the other day, I was looking at my matches and I was looking at how much was I actually earning per individual that the team is enrolling as customers, because we're enrolling a lot of customers every day. We're talking about 20-something plus customers a day. So I'm looking at the 60-cent matches, the $2 matches, $3 matches. I'm adding them up and seeing how much I'm earning per day in customers as a team. And it's just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal, folks. This company can change your life. Okay? You know, the incomes are different. You know, incomes that we make are not typical, but it's possible. It is truly possible. Every year, you know, like triple every single year. So I want to read something to you guys real quick, and I'll turn it back over to you, Pam. Paul J. Meyer said something that is very significant that I think you guys may want to possibly write down, you may want to look it up, but it's so powerful. And here's what he said. He said that whenever you can vividly imagine You know, when I looked at this, the Show Me the Money video that Tim did, you know, I looked at those codes. I was looking at the fact he made six figures in 6 months and $250,000 in his first year. I said, wow, you know, so I can vividly imagine that happening in my business. You know, the growth. I remember looking at his residual income, the monthlies, not the weeklies, the monthlies, how he went from 50 something dollars to 500 something dollars to 2,500 something dollars to $6,000. I was like, that's crazy. That's residual income. Are you serious? Because I'm used to, I was with companies where you got advanced commissions and you didn't see the residuals until 13 months later. And you come to Skinny Body Care, you're building it right out of the gate. So he says that whatever you vividly imagine, audibly desire, sincerely believe, enthusiastically act upon, will inevitably come to pass. Okay, let me repeat that. He said, whatever you vividly imagine, you audibly desire, sincerely believe, enthusiastically act upon, will pass. You know what? People ask me all the time, how much money are you making in Skinny Body Care? The money's incredible. It's not even a scratch of what it's about to be the next 3 to 5 years. Guys, listen to me. Hear me clearly. Everybody that's positioned in Skinny Body Care right now, over the next 5 to 7 years, 10 years, we will be billionaires. See, there are companies in this industry that's generating billions of dollars a month. That's possible. Okay? You should have never showed me that that's possible. Because if the company can do it, and we have a presence in over 160 countries, and the same companies that's doing $1 billion a month, they have a presence in only like 30 to 40 countries. Think about that, guys. Really think about that. Okay? Whatever you vividly imagine, I can see myself making $1 billion a month in Skinny Body Care. Plain as day. I already see it. I already see it. It's inevitable. Whatever you vividly imagine, audibly desire. See, I desire to make $1 billion a month. And I'm sitting up here audibly attaching myself to it. I'm telling you guys. I'm sincerely believing that we can earn billions of dollars in Skinny Body Care. And I know, man, that some of you guys just need to make an extra $200 a week. You know, an extra $300 a month to keep the lights on. You know, some people just need an extra $500 a month to buy some school books. Whatever. You know, get off wherever you are. You know, financially, get off on the elevator wherever you are. If I go over your head with income, then get off, you know, wherever you are. If it's an extra $500 a week, $1,000 a week, $2,000, whatever it is, whatever you can believe. But you have to sincerely believe that, okay? Enthusiastically acting upon it. Folks, it's one thing to desire $1 billion a month, but what are you going to do about it? Will you enthusiastically act upon it? That's the difference between the winners and the losers. People that make excuses. They're not enthusiastically acting upon the things that they say that they want. Okay? So inevitably, it's going to inevitably come to pass. When will it come to pass? That's the kicker. Nobody knows. You know, our trainer, Dale Calvert, always talks about everybody has a number. We don't know what that number is. I know that I have a number. Pam knows that she has a number. You got to know that you have a number. And that number is the amount of people that you have to expose in order to become a billionaire in Skinny Body Care. And I understand that. And I'm telling you, my flag is planted with Skinny Body Care. I ain't going nowhere. We're going to be here till the wheels fall off. And we're looking forward to changing a lot of lives because like Tim talks about, man, 20 years ago, people wanted to lose weight. guess what, Pam? 20 years from now, people gonna want to lose weight, and we got a product that works. You gotta have vision to see this. You know, Helen Keller said it's better to have vision than to have sight and no vision. You know, a lot of people got eyes, they see, but they have no vision, none whatsoever. And so the Bible talks about people perishing because of a lack of vision. They don't suffer, they perish. You perish for a lack of vision. So vision is very important. Belief is very important. You gotta have a burning desire. And plant your flag with anybody care, folks. Don't play with this, okay? I used to say on my calls all the time, you can play with this if you want to. You can play with it if you want to, okay? You're gonna find yourself missing out on something and you're gonna regret it. And guess what? We're gonna be here rocking. You know, I'm the kind of person, man, I just don't have sympathy for people that quit on their family and their dreams. You know, I understand time is everything for people in their lives, but man, I'm gonna laugh at you, okay? I'm gonna laugh at you because this is it. Don't play with this business, folks. Don't play with it, okay? You know, set a goal, go for it, commit to it daily, get around the people, work on you, and make it happen for yourself and your family, for real. Back to you, Pat. I can hear you. You're muted. You're muted.
How did you build your team? How did you build your team? That's a question a lot of people always have. They want to know, you know, if they're, especially if they're just getting started, how they can build their team. So what advice would you give someone on how they could build their team up?
I was vice president in a telecommunications company. I had an organization over there about 300 strong. I didn't bring them over. I didn't have a meeting with them. In fact, I had a meeting with them to tell them that I was resigning. They were like, "What? Are you serious?" Because I was sold. I was done. I was done. So for me, um, I started from scratch, literally. Um, the vice president that we created that quit, you know, he was a vice president. I'm sorry, that we created that quit. He was a vice president in that company as well. I literally started by myself. Uh, you know, we were planning that event, doing what we were doing in that other company, and not joining anybody here. I had been in the company about 2.5 months before I started taking the product. So I hadn't really done anything. I was just plugging into the call, plugging into the call. And when I started taking the product and got my results my first month, and I resigned, I just got focused. And it's funny because that gentleman, I would be in my office, and that gentleman was like, "Man, what are you doing? You know, you're supposed to be in here helping us, but you in here doing something else." And I didn't want to tell him what I was doing, but I was just like looking at Tim's video over and over and over and over, you know, researching the product and so forth. But he was the only individual that came with me. He wasn't on my team. He wasn't in my direct downline, but he came. One of his people came. So it was, you know, I could go back to my whole Wild Awareness Crusade calls and go back to the first call that we had. You know, it was about 3 or 4 people on the call, literally. And I just told him and told a couple of people, look, we're gonna do this call every day, whether we're on it, whether 50 people are on the call or not. We're going to start crusading. We're going to start getting the information out there. And that's what I did to build my team. I didn't have a big list. I didn't shoot out a big email blast. That's why I was so skeptical, because on Facebook, I was going to go off. I was going to go off. But I didn't want to be associated with a pink product. So that's why I took from July 4th to October 24th. I took that much time to prepare myself to get started, to really go off and go ham and start really promoting this thing on Facebook. That's how I got started. I didn't even do the traditional route. I didn't do the meetings. I didn't suit up and come into your home and do a home party. They wasn't doing it. They were doing it from the couch. They was doing it on Facebook. So that's literally how I built my business. But now we transitioned. And I encourage people to do the old school methods. You know, create your list right away. You know, if you're new, by all means, get to bronze. That is the first step.
if you can't get past the first step, forget about silver, forget about gold, forget about platinum. Master the mundane. Master the simplicity of the system. And that is, first step, get to bronze. You ain't got to be reading all over analyzing everything and all this kind of stuff, and restructuring your desk, and making sure that this is over there. All that, that's not work. You got to put in the work. You got to go to work. Make a list. Engage the list. Reach out to people. Expose people. Let them take free tours. Pre-enroll them. You can go into your tele-friend feature in your back office, load it up, put them in there, call them, say, hey, look, I just put you in a position to earn some income. Go to Skinny Body Care, log in. You look in your contact manager, you can see whether they're sleeping, or you can see whether they're active, that they've actually went in there and logged in and checked their back office, because you can pre-enroll them, but the system is not going to start sending them emails until they log in and it activates those emails to start going out. So there are things that you can do right away to get started. If you're on Facebook and you got a following, you have influence, then post it on your wall. Who wants? I'm getting ready to take a 90-day challenge. Want to know who's with me. Do repeat. I don't like the way I look. I want to lose an extra 10 pounds. You have to engage people. You have to go to work to get started. A lot of people join a social business, but they join the witness protection. Right? You ever had someone do that? Like, they'll join, but you won't hear from them anymore. Like, it's crazy. It's a social business, but they join the witness protection plan. It go around. So you gotta engage yourself, man. That's what I did. I didn't. One thing I do though, and I don't have it with me, that I probably will take a picture and post it in the group, is I track the people that I expose. What I mean by that is I have a manila folder like this, but I create it like in spreadsheet format. Well, it has a name column, a phone number column, an email column, and a note column. So my focus every day is to fill that list up. I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care whether you get in to take the challenge. I don't care whether you think it's a scam. It don't matter. My goal is to fill that list up. It's a row of 20 names, okay? And if you look at my list, you'll see yellows, you'll see greens, and you'll see pinks. Those people's names highlighted. Well, what does that mean? Well, the greens mean that they're distributors. The yellows mean that they're customers, preferred customers. The pink means that they're retail customers. Well, why do you do that? Well, that proves to me that out of 20 people, I'll average about 12 to 15 people. So why would I waste my time on JoJo and TomTom, right? My goal is to expose as many people as possible and get as many people on that list as possible, because I know I'm going to get a certain amount of distributors, a certain amount of customers, a certain amount of retail customers. It happens every time. And that's why I track it, because I can gauge my business when I do that. So that's what I do every day. I'm on social media all the time. I'm out and about all the time. My goal is to create a new list of people and develop and grow and develop my list. When I give them the information, call them, follow up, see what they like most, and that's it. So that's what I would do. But if you're new and you haven't hit bronze yet, you got to get the bronze. You really got to get the bronze. And if you've been in the company for a while and you're still stuck at one person or two people, and every time you get your second person, they quit, you got to start over. Or you get your third person, you bronze, and then all of them have quit, you're back down to the distributor. Keep going. Keep going. This is a sorting business. It's not a convincing business. Amateurs convince, professionals sort. You always got to remember that. Amateurs convince, professionals sort. And what I've seen in this company is that a lot of the people that have taken the product in 2011, they're back on the product in 2013. and they stopped. Okay, a lot of people have quit 2 and 3 times, come back. So, so we have a product that we know that works. Okay, if people work it, you just got to be committed. You got to set yourself a goal. You got to hit bronze within. I want to create a culture in this company that people hit bronze within the first 24 hours. Think about that. Think about what happened to people's businesses. If everybody came in this company, hit bronze within 24 hours, turn around and help their three do the same thing. Think about that every day. Think about what would happen to your business by Friday. If 3 people join on Monday and they hit bronze on Tuesday, and those people hit bronze by Wednesday, you know what happened by Friday? How many people would be on your team? The momentum that will happen in your business. So that's what I encourage people to do when you're first getting started. Understand the philosophies of the industry. Understand that everybody's not going to join you. Don't get disappointed when your friends don't. When you're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, Sue gonna get it, my mama gonna get it, my grandmother gonna get it, and when they don't get it, don't be disappointed. Learn to discipline your disappointments. Please discipline your disappointments, because if you don't, you ain't gonna be around here long. You're gonna be one of them people like Pam talked about. I don't see the value in going to the event. I ain't made no money yet. I'm waiting till the business make me money before I do that. No, it's just the wrong mindset to have. That's just the mindset to have. So when you quit, so you you got to understand that this is a system. It works, and you want to plug yourself into the system and get to the next level as fast as you possibly can if you're brand new. Bottom line is you invested your money, right? You want to get in profit mode right away. You don't want to take all month, all year to get in profit mode. So you really want to roll your sleeves up and go to work. I'm not saying be a fanatic like James R. Davis Sr. 100 hours a week. You may have 5 hours a week. You may have 2 hours a week. But what are you doing in those 2 hours? What are you doing in those 30 minutes? You have to maximize your time. Okay, you have to do what you talked about, Pam, IPA, income producing activities. Straightening up your desk is not an income producing activity. Okay, rearranging your flyers that you ordered that's in a box, that's been in a box for 6 months, that's not an income producing activity. An income producing activity is exposing new people to your business, period, end of story. How you do that, social media, offline, is up to you.
Agree 100%, folks. Thing is that, it's all about taking action on a daily basis. It's all about being consistent. I say it all the time. It's like the times that you're not getting results make up for, or it's the time that you're getting results makes up for the time that you're not getting results. It's that consistent action every day, even when nobody's watching, even when nobody's signing up. Man, you can go times where you might have 2-3 weeks, even a month, where you have a dry spell, and then all of a sudden you just have this abundance where people are signing up every single day, and money is coming at you everywhere, and next thing you know, all of your financial woes are gone away. So I think that just, really that sums it up, folks. If you really want to be a diamond in skinny body care, just be successful in your business, then click on the link below. Get started with our team. James, any closing words that you want to give them?
Am I coming through okay?
Yeah, you are. We're getting a little feedback from you.
What about now?
You're okay now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Understand that when you're exposing people, it's like if you can imagine, I used to hear on the streets a lot that pressure busts a pipe. Okay, pressure busts a pipe. You got to think about it like this: when you're exposing people, you're filling up your pipeline. Okay, and at some point, like Pam just talked about, those people will start to spit out of the back end of that pipeline, because you're filling up a funnel. It's like filling up a funnel with people. You're trying to expose those people. You're thinking that nobody's listening right I'm not having success. Well, that's not true. That's not true. Don't gauge your success, by people joining you and people not joining you. Okay. Well, let me rephrase that. You can't say that you're not having success when you're doing the things you know you should be doing, but you're not getting the result right now. Okay, you got to understand that, and really just respect the process of it all. I keep talking about that. I'm going to continue to preach that and continue to speak about that until people get it in their fiber. You got to get that. People don't expect for you to still be talking about a pink bottle 6 months from now. We had Mary Asbury on our call the other morning. And I remember that young lady in 2011. I remember her in 2012. She was like another Sue Austin, very quiet, very reserved. I remember her, inboxing me on the chat and just really kind of stressing her concerns. She wasn't having the massive success that she's having right now. She wanted to know if it was going to work for her, when it was going to work for her, and so forth. She didn't get discouraged though. She stayed showing up. She stayed committed to personal development. She stayed being in the environment. She stayed working. She stayed posting. And to hear her share on the call yesterday, that was it made my day, because that's what I saw in this industry when I joined. People with no experience will come in here and flat out rock this thing. So, but she understood that she needed to respect the process. It was not going to happen for her overnight. And that's just one of many stories, folks. We can go on and on about the stories. We have the Heather Dunn, Courtney Reuters. I can go on and on. So, last words, just stay committed, folks, to your dream, your passion. Skinny Body Care is definitely the vehicle to get you where you want to be. And I would just really encourage you to don't quit. Because one thing's for sure, when you quit, you'll never accomplish what you want. You'll never know what you could have accomplished if you would have stayed committed. Okay? So, go on a crusade, sell out to this business, believe in yourself, and do like Jackie Stewart talks about. Don't focus on the money so much. Focus on creating relationships with people, building friendships, and sharing the information, and just be a beast at being willing to help people get what they want. And you're going to get everything that you want in this industry. I'm telling you right now. You just got to get that. So, thank you so much, Pam. Anything else that you would like to ask, man? I'm here. It's like 8:32. I ain't got nowhere to be. So, if anything else that you want to ask, I'm more than willing to answer any questions that you may have.
Well, I think we've held you long enough. We're getting some feedback over there. We've held you long enough. We always appreciate your time. Appreciate everything that you do for the Skinny Body family. Just thank you so much for. Hold on a second. Okay, we're getting feedback from you. I turned you down for a second. We're just so appreciative of everything that you're doing and for the time that you're spending already. And again, if you guys are watching this and you have any questions that you want to ask, we have a team group. We have a group for our team. If you're part of our team, then click on the link below to get started, or get back in touch with the person who put you on this hangout tonight. Tell them you want more information, or tell them that you want to get started tonight and be part of this fantastic team. One thing I could tell you is that the leaders in Skinny Body Care, we do these Millionaire Masterminds every week, every Tuesday at 8 p.m., and we have leaders in the business. They share information where you don't get an opportunity to typically sit down with them and kind of quote unquote pick their brain. This is an opportunity where you can find out exactly what they did and how they were able to build their business so that you can learn how you can do the exact same thing too. So James, thank you again so much for your time this evening. We appreciate it. We're going to end this, go ahead and end this session. It's been about an hour and a half. We've already held you hostage long enough. Guys, join us again tomorrow night for another Skinny Fiber Story of Success, where we'll be talking to some of our team members and people who have had success using Skinny Fiber in their life and their business, who have lost weight and who are making money in the process. James, again, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing your story and for helping everyone along the journey, and more importantly than anything, just being transparent and keeping it real. A lot of people just see the after results. They never see the process, and that's what I love about your story, is that, you know, it hasn't been overnight for you, and it's, you know, been a process, and it's still part of your journey that you're going through. And I love that you're willing to keep it real so people can see what it really takes if they want this type of lifestyle of freedom that you have. I know you just came back, and I don't even know if you're back. You've been traveling all over the world. I have to keep up with you, so I don't really even know where you're at. You've been flying all over the place. So thanks again for everything. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you again on tomorrow. Take care.